People look at stories through different lenses. I have my own personal take on some of these trending issues. Hi, I'm Mariah Ramharack and welcome to In Case You Missed It.
Hello, I'm Mariah Ramharack and welcome to a brand new episode of In Case You Missed It. Last week Friday, Cricket West Indies announced the appointments of the new head coaches for the West Indies senior men's teams. Andre Coley has been appointed head coach for the Test and A teams, and Darren Sammy head coach for the White Ball One Day International and T20 International teams. Well, it's my pleasure to be joined today by head coach of the Windies Test team, Andre Coley. Andre, how are you? How are you enjoying Jamaica?
Hi, good afternoon. Good, I'm good.
Yeah.
Good to be back home.
All right, and I'm so happy that the interim tag has been removed and you've been named head coach of the Windies Test team. Of course, that sounds much better. How much of an honor is it to be able to serve West Indies cricket in this capacity?
Well, it was an honor to have been asked to serve in the interim position, but clearly now given a more specific mandate longer term, it is even more of an honor, and looking forward to the interesting opportunities and challenges ahead.
Yeah, and based on your stint as interim coach on the tours of Zimbabwe and South Africa, that was earlier this year, what's your first order of business?
Well, we take on India in July, which signals the start of the next World Test Championship cycle. So it's going to be very important for us. I've already started having those conversations with Craig, the captain, and other stakeholders, the selection panel, in terms of how we are looking to move forward. And just reviewing the past 12 to 24 months, identifying where we would have done well, and then the shortcomings. And then there's, over the next 6 to 8 weeks or so, let's put together our plans that will help us to have a good result against India when that time comes around.
Right, and I asked about the immediate plans, and I have to ask, what are we thinking in the long term? Have you sat down, soaked in, decided, the type of legacy you'd like to leave?
Well, I'm always interested in leaving whatever environment I'm involved in a better place, contributing to it in the way that I see fit. As you mentioned, in the short term, we have India looming, but the longer term plans are really going to come out of more extensive discussions and conversations. I've already noted my thoughts in those areas, but as you would appreciate, us moving forward will take a collaborative approach.
Right.
So we're looking to do that over the next 30 to 90 days or so.
Right, and I will go into detail about that India tour in a bit, but I want to bring this up. I remember talking to my grandfather. Of course, he passed this year, for hours about the Windies glory days. I feel, though, that I was robbed of the opportunity to experience those glory days. With you at the helm, do you think I'll get the opportunity to see some of those winning days?
You started to boast some serious bouncers there. You should have told me to bring my helmet.
Well, I am related to Karishma, and she bowls very well, so...
There's some serious outspin.
Yeah.
But yes, it's got, the players that we have are no doubt talented. It's very important that we look to play a brand of cricket that's going to help the game move forward. That's going to be exciting, bringing spectators out to the grounds, if not at the grounds, even remotely, to be able to watch it. I think it's very important that we, look to play a positive brand of cricket that looks, and feels that it is geared towards winning. This will obviously take time and buy-in from the players. So that is what we're really looking to target going forward.
Yes, and of course, management-player relationships are always an integral part of any successful unit. I've seen some improvement in that department in Windies cricket. Is that something you'll be hoping to work on?
Management, when you say management, what do you mean specifically?
So, of course, coach-player relationships, just the fact that you create an environment so that players feel welcome, to give their ideas, to share thoughts with the team, to feel as part of a unit. Because what we get is, and I have discussions with players, of course, off air and whatnot, there seems to be, some rifts. Some players feel as if they're bigger than others. Some feel as if they won't be able to go to particular coaches and whatnot. So are we expecting, an environment where it will be a good one with you, coach, and of course the players, where they feel as if there's an open relationship, whether you agree or not, that they can come to you with any problem or maybe solutions?
Well, since you mentioned that, I mean, it will be pretty much a continuation from the interim role, where having taken it on, it was very important for me to build rapport with the players quickly. Even though I would have, been familiar with most, but I would have worked with them in different capacities over the years. So the plan is really to continue to build that rapport, and collaboratively we're going to have to do it. Support staff, players, but players are the ones who will have to go out on the field. So if we are able to get their buy-in and have specific roles that players can actually perform and are willing to perform, then that's a move in the right direction. So we're looking to definitely improve on that communication that we had over the last 3 months.
Yes, and you mentioned it, your first assignment it's a 2-test series against world number 1, and I stress that, world number 1 India in the Caribbean in July. Would you say that's a tough first assignment? And of course, what's the preparation plan as we get ready to face India?
Look, it's going to be very important for us to face each series as is, and even more importantly, each test match within the series as is. When you look at our schedule over the next 2 years, we have 6 series, 5 of which are going to be against teams that are ranked above us, and the other team being Bangladesh. Not taking anything from Bangladesh, but they're a fastly improving team. So we are going to have our challenges ahead of us. But it's going to be very important that we are realistic in terms of our expectations, and consistency in all the areas, setting our targets and then just ticking them off gradually to ensure that once we are able to meet those small targets, it helps to motivate us, the staff and the players, to keep moving forward.
Yeah, and how much do you expect the ATeam tour to strengthen your preparation for India in July, especially with players like King and Atanaz being a part of the setup?
Well, that is also part of my oversight responsibility. The ATeam Series, and just in this discussion with the selection panel, we try to strike a balance between, giving younger players opportunity as well as potentially placing players that could benefit from being on a tour like that. And that ATeam series, our plan over the coming years will be an integral role in providing opportunity and servicing our senior team. And ahead of the India series, on top of the ATeam, we'll be looking to have a camp ahead of that, just to be able to bring everyone together, separate and apart from individual work that they'll be doing in the territories.
Yes, and Andre, as we look forward to the future, and we have to plan from now, it's what the big cricketing nations like India and they do. To me, I always joke and say it's as if they have a factory, because, once one player steps down, there's another player that's willing to take their place, and sometimes they're even as good as that player stepping down, or even better sometimes. What are our plans? And I know you just got into the role, and maybe I'm asking too many questions and too many difficult questions, but do you think, and this goes back to the question about your legacy too, what are some of the plans to develop the future generation of our Windies players?
Well, the fact that the roles have been split in terms of separate head coaches, it offers the opportunity between series to actually spend more time with players, not only in camp settings, but visiting the territories, working one-on-one with players, myself and the support staff. So that will provide an opportunity for that, and we're looking forward to all these challenges. Right now, I'm going to be a bit tight-lipped in terms of some of the more specific plans that we do have, because, that will come out of more discussion with cricket operations, selection panel, cricket committee, Craig as captain, involving the franchises, the coaches from the different franchises. So, that's one of my goals, to be a unifying force, so to speak. I know we've always had challenges, in the West Indies just because of the separate sovereignties and so on. But I think it's very important that, if we're not on the same page, at least get very close and create and build on that network that is going to be crucial for us to have some success. So everybody's clear in terms of where we want to go. And then over the time, just be clear also in terms of how each role, or the role of each person, dovetails into the overall picture. So in terms of a legacy and long term, that's what I'm looking for. Obviously, it's very important for the test team to win matches and win series. That is why we play at this level. But looking at the big picture, it's for us to achieve that. It will take some collaboration and effective communication.
Yes, and I like the separate coaches format. It just means to me that players will get more time and attention, from their respective coaches. Does this mean that, of course, you and Darren Sammy will be having conversations, maybe WhatsApp conversations, talking and whatnot, working very closely with each other to ensure that, you get the best out of the crop of players?
Well, what I said to that is that the conversations will be ongoing.
Yes.
Because, over the last few days, we have had a number of discussions about the separate roles, and also how we could work together. So those conversations, will be ongoing, especially around how we can have players transitioning between the different formats. And you think about it, the relationship with Darren and I go back a few years. When he was captain and I was an assistant coach in the different formats. You think back to the 2016 World Cup, he was captain, I was an assistant coach there. So we already have a relationship over the years.
Yes,
he's transitioned into coaching now. So I'm really looking forward to, I think we are both looking forward to working together in the coming months.
Right, and last week there were news items circulating that it's alleged that the Indian Premier League are considering giving players long-term contracts, which, if this happens, will bind them to their IPL teams. Are you concerned, Coach, that this can hurt West Indies cricket?
I don't think it's only a concern of mine. I think across the globe, it's a concern for each cricketing nation, each member nation of the ICC. Just because it's a livelihood of players, they have the option, and I believe some territories or some boards have the opportunity or the finances to be able to pay the players in such a way that playing for the country, they can actually forget some of these tournaments or stay away from them to continue to work at home. But we have to be mindful of that. As West Indies, we may not have the resources. We clearly don't have the resources. So this is where it comes down to discussions, planning. This is where planning is going to be important for us to not only look at our future tours program across the formats, but also look at the international franchises as they are rolled out across each year, and then have the discussions with the different players in the different pools. Around how we could, manage that and make our best players available. I think first recognizing that the players have options is one thing, but then just bringing them into the conversation and letting them feel that they're part of West Indies cricket moving forward. So I think both everyone on board has a role to play. So it's really about coming to the middle ground and working things out. I really do believe it is possible.
Right. Well, of course, I'm always wishing you the best. I want to thank you so much for joining us on In Case You Missed It. And I hope that you achieve everything that you want to do. And I can see those glory days.
Thank you for having me. I'm definitely looking forward to the challenges.
No problem. Well, folks, that's a wrap for this week's In Case You Missed It. Be sure to like, share and comment and let me know what you'd like to see from Andre Coley as coach for the Windies test teams. Goodbye for now.